What is going on, Pokemon fans? Welcome back to JD's Nerdverse. We're doing a playthrough today of Ditto, the transform Pokemon, the most tedious playthrough I think I've ever done. And yeah, so let's dive into this. Before I do though, please, if you like this video, please like it. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. You get videos like this all the time. You will also comment. It helps out a lot. Plus, I reply to every comment, so if you have a question, or you want to know something, or you have a concern, or you don't like something, please let me know, alright? So I named myself, JD, and my rival is going to be Puffy. And you'll see why here in a little bit. And this Pokemon was one of the toughest playthroughs I've ever done. It really is. So we decided to stop playing Nintendo, and we're going to start this playthrough. Had a potion sitting on my computer, let's grab it, and we're off. Cha-la-la, bye mom. And we're heading towards grass. Oh wait, we've got a Pokemon, so now Professor's gonna give us a Pokemon. Now usually you have Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, but we're gonna decide to go with Ditto today. So we use a universal Pokemon randomizer to change Bulbasaur into Ditto. And this is where I made my first mistake of the run. So just so you know, I should have chose Bulbasaur to replace, should have been a different Pokemon, and I should have had my rival pick Bulbasaur. And I name Ditto Diddy, okay, and he gets a Charmander. And so now we're gonna go into our first battle. So the first battle, it's gonna show you the mechanic. I'll go over the mechanic of the battle here very soon, but we face Charmander. Now when we transform, we get 5 of each move. So we're using Scratch, he's using Growl, so we don't get enough oomph in our battle or our fight to knock him out. So now we gotta go and Growl 5 times to knock him out. Now this is where battles become very risky, because sometimes you don't always have attacking moves, you have statusing moves that you have to deplete before you can actually get to struggle. So that's the tricky part about using Transform. So let's go and go over the stats of this Pokemon real quick. HP is 48 across the board, 48 attack, HP, defense, I'm sorry, the stats are 48 across the board, not HP is 48 across the board. HP is 48, attack is 48, defense is 48, special is 48, and speed is 48. So nothing is special about this Pokemon. One of the first strategies I kind of came up with when I was planning this video was if I just get HP ups and I get some carbs, I can boost my HP, and that's the one thing it doesn't copy, and I'll go over what I mean by that here in a little bit. I can actually boost my HP a little bit, and because I could have higher HP, I could also have higher speed, I could potentially do higher proteins, which would increase our attack stat and so on and so forth. So that was a strategy, and that falls on its face, and you'll see why here in a little bit. So we get one move with this Pokemon, it's called Transform. Actually, we get 2. Let's be honest, there is 2 technical moves. But the first one is Transform, and it's a level up move and so on when we start with, and we don't get another one. So Transform, the way it works is if you encounter a Pokemon trainer or a Pokemon in the wild, you use Transform. What you do is you turn into the opposition. You get all of its stats except for a hit point. So if we have 48 speed, if we get a opposition with like very high speed, let's say they get like 90, we have 90 speed now with this Pokemon. So that is a benefit, is we do get some of the good stats, we also get some of the bad stats. We also get typing. So if we come across a ground type Pokemon, we are now ground type. So that is a good and bad thing. You'll see why it's bad. Actually, very soon you'll see why it's bad. And then the last thing we copy as well is its moves. Now, unlike normal moves, like if we had a Rattata and it had Tackle has 35 power points. If we copy or transform into a Rattata, it only has 5. So that is something else we have to contend with, is power point management. Whenever we fight a battle, we're going to get a copy of the opposition move, but he only has 1 or 2 moves. Sometimes that's good because if there are 2 attacking moves, you just do 2 attacking moves, and then you can use Struggle at the end. And I'll explain what Struggle is here in a minute. But sometimes you have Pokemon like there's a Bellsprout later that has Wrap, Sleep Powder, Poison Powder, Stun Spore. So you got to deplete all of those before you can use a much more effective move in Struggle. So that is part of this game. This is literally the first playthrough I've had where the entire game I pretty much got saved for any Pokemon battle, trainer battle. It's very I don't know if tedious is the word. It's monotonous, maybe is a better word. But so that's the first move we have. So when we run out of power points, then we use our second move. So you can use Struggle, and Struggle is a 50 base power move. It's normal type, and it does recoil damage. Whatever we do to the opposition, we get half dealt back. Now, here's the 2 caveats with that. So, if we transform into a Pokemon and use Struggle, it may not do as much as it would if we just did it as Ditto. Here's what I mean. So let's say we transform into the first I'll just tell you, the first gym's Brock. We transform in the Brock, and he has Tackle and Defense Curl. So we gotta use 10 turns of moves before we can use Struggle, right? When we use Struggle, we are now Rock type, not normal, so it does less damage. Okay? The other way is if you deplete all your transform power points, you can use Struggle without changing into an opposition. Now Struggle's more effective because we are normal type, and it gets a little bit of a stab to it. So it's usually a 50 base power move with normal type Pokemon. It's a 75 base power move. Okay? So that's the two strategies we have. It's not a very broad book of strategies. So you have 2. You have one transform to other Pokemon and knock them out with its own first Pokemon, or you have to mimic. Alright, you have to deplete, transform, and use Struggle. So those are literally the only 2 strategies we have this Pokemon, and it's just about figuring out which Pokemon trainers are going to be the best ones to do this strategy with. So here's our first example of a transform. Transforming the Weedle, we use Poison Sting. Poison Sting doesn't do too much. Weedle is a poison type Pokemon, so it doesn't actually do a lot of damage to Weedle. It'll do a lot of damage to Caterpie if we have a battle where we go from Weedle to Caterpie. And then we got to deplete String Shots. Now we can't do anything until String Shots are completed. And once it's depleted, we can use Struggle, and we get the knockout very good. This next battle is going to showcase how Struggle works. So see how much more damage Struggle does? The only trade-off is it does do recoil, but the battles go a lot quicker and it's more powerful. It's just there's recoil. So we have to make sure we go in the battle if we're going to do that and know we have enough hit points to take the recoil. So now we get a potion. We're going to go ahead and heal up, which I wasted a potion here because I didn't want to run back to the thing. Potions are 20 hit points of health. And when you're if you have 13 health and you have total 24 health, but you have 13 left on the status bar, yeah, I just wasted a potion. But we're going to use Struggle strategy. We do get poisoned, not a big deal. But as long as we don't miss, we got enough health to knock this trainer out. And the reason why I did that is I want to show you that I do go here to buy a bunch of potions. We have about $3,000. We're going to sell all the stuff we have. It's more important to train right now. Now, if I were to do this again, I would not get potions. And there's a good reason for that, and I'll explain that a little bit later. So now we come across our first actual, our second actual battle with the wild. So 1 or 2 trainers or Pokemon with a battle. You have enough health to get through a battle with 1 or 2 Pokemon. Okay? What you don't have is this guy has 3 Pokemon. We don't have the hit points to handle that. So what we're going to do instead is we are actually going to heal up. We already did this. And we're going to go ahead and fight him with Transform. We're going to transform into a Weedle right here. Poison Sting does a decent amount of damage actually. So not too bad. And we get knocked out in 3 hits. Now Kakuna comes out, and here's the problem with Kakuna. Kakuna is going to use Harden. That's all it's going to use. So now its defense is up. So now that I'm a bug type, I'm about to deplete all my power points just to use Struggle. And it usually doesn't do as much, but it got a critical hit there. But it doesn't do as much damage. And because we didn't use our Struggle strats on pretty much the first 2 Pokemon, we have enough health to knock this out. I actually plan on doing what's called Blackout training, where I fight the first 2 Pokemon, get knocked out, and then go back. So now we have our rival fight. So this is an example of how random this game is with this Pokemon. So you're going to see 3 different battles about how this fight can go. And it's just that random. Some battles we can just steamroll the opposition with no issue. Some battles we're going to have to fight it 3 or 4 times. Even random, like normal Pokemon trainer encounters, not landmark fights. Alright, so we lose the first one because we didn't have enough power points at the end to do Struggle with Charmander. Okay, it didn't help also that, we got Sand Attack, so we missed a lot. So now we're going to try our rival again. Pidgey is the Pokemon. So you could probably guesstimate what do you think is the best Pokemon starter to use if the opposition is going to always throw out a Pidgey. So you can probably comment that down below. I'll explain a little bit later the answer, but if you know it right now, comment down below and say which trainer you think, which Pokemon you think would be the best to battle against. So now this is the second battle. So we just don't have enough health. We don't have enough health to knock him out. So we're gonna try this one more time. Third time is the charm, and we can get the knockout here. So we can transform one more time into Pidgey. I thought about going out and using Struggle, but I didn't think I had enough hit points for it. That's why I didn't try to use Struggle with this battle. So we got Gus got a critical hit, so we have 3 Gus left. So now we can use Sand Attack, make it so Charmander can't really hit us. And now we're gonna use Gust. It gets critical hit and knocks it out. Very good. We beat our rival Puffy. So I am Puffy because, you know, P. Diddy, Puffy. And right now we're going back to Professor Oak. So if you don't actually have any Pokeballs or Pokemon caught other than your starting Pokemon, and you beat that rival fight, you can actually get 5 Pokeballs. This 5 Pokeballs are crucial because they can be sold. It's only $500, but it's $500 that's better than nothing. So now we're facing the Million Light Years trainer in Brock's gym. And we're going to transform into a Ditto. So this right here, my plan here is to do what's called blackout training. So we're going to knock out the Diglett, I'm sorry, no problem. And we're going to our hope is to get knocked out by the Sandshrew. Like that. So no problem here. We heal up and we're going to run right back over here and fight this battle again. I didn't think Struggle would be enough hit points to get through this guy. So that's why I'm using Diglett's Struggle. Or Diglett, transform into Diglett. Knockout in 2 hits, so we got plenty of power points left. Luckily with this Pokemon, Diglett actually learns Growl, but in this one he doesn't have Growl. So we get the win pretty handily with using Struggle at the end. A lot of health left, and so now we're an hour and 18 minutes in. We're at level, I believe, 21. Level 21. And now we're going to see what we can do against Brock. So there are 2 strategies with Brock. One is to turn into Geodude, and I explained that earlier. And one is to use Struggle strategies like we're doing. Geodude is Rock type. So when we transform, we turn into a Rock. So automatically Tackle is Struggle is less effective. Also, you get Tackle, which is garbage, and you're going to use that against Geodude. Okay, so it's not going to do a lot of damage. So that's out the window. It's out. It doesn't. And then you got to do 5 defense curls as well. So that's not great either. Okay. So I decided we're going to go with Struggle. Struggle will knock out Geodude with enough health, plenty of health left. Right. Plenty of health left, and with Struggle, we do take recoil. And as you can see here, we do have a decent amount of health after we beat Geodude, knock Geodude out. 36 health should be plenty of health to knock out Onix. Now it's just up to the game and how random the game wants to be. The game can, like that. If he didn't hit Bide and he hit like a Tackle or just did Screech again, we're on the precipice of knocking this thing out in under an hour and 20 minutes. But we don't. So now we get our 3rd attempt, and it's the last attempt. So now I will do what I always do. Wakanda forever. And now Geodude. We're going to use Struggle. And like I said, we just want to have as many hit points as possible going into the Onix fight. So we have 36. Same as last time. So now the game just has the Screech misses. Good. Screech misses again. Good. So we're getting a lot of damage done. Tackle does a little bit of damage. Tackle again does a little bit of damage. Tackle again. And Bide is initiated so we can get the win. We beat our rival. We actually got through that a lot faster than I anticipated. But the game slows down from here. Because now every battle has to be a Struggle battle or a Transform battle, in which we give the opposition at least 1 turn to attack us. And nothing the opposition have is going to be a 1-hit knockout because we're taking on their stats. So that's the situation we're in right now. That's why you're going to see me win this battle. I believe I win this battle. I'm like 90% confident I win this battle. I think it's the next battle we lose. So you're going to see me win this battle, and then you're going to see me go back and heal. And this is the trend after every one of them. Now we do have potions, and this is where I'll explain what the strategy was and why the strategy got ousted. We didn't want to use all of our potions unless we had to. We're pretty close to the Pokemon Center. It's not that long to go back, so we decided just to not use potions here. We're gonna save our potions when we have to use struggle strategies, not for when we just have to heal up in between battles. Okay. In the long term, I should have just not used potions, period. Because in the game of Pokemon, and I don't know the mechanic here, so I'm going to explain it the best I can. I don't know the exact numbers. I don't know if there's anything like that. But in the game, you can add potions. You can add vitamins, HP ups, iron, proteins, carbs, etc. If you do that, if you heal a lot, if you use a lot of potions, it diminishes how many of those vitamins you can actually use later in the game. So in hindsight, I should just not use potions at all, because if I want to use like as many HP ups as possible and boost and get my HP as high as possible, I shouldn't use any potions ever. Okay, so that is a lesson learned. Now that's hard to do, but I used potions in this game. Let's just be honest here. I used potions, and a lot of them before I got to the point where I could get a lot of HP ups. You do find 1 or 2 in the wild we're able to use, but we don't have a lot of. We can't use carbs because we do that. We can't use calcium, which I don't know why we use calcium. We don't really need high special, but you know, regardless of that, that was the strategy I had. I'm like, okay, let's get HP ups. Let's boost our attack or our health. That's something that doesn't transform. Let's try to maximize that to help us out, but it doesn't work that way. And because it doesn't work that way, I wasted some time trying to do it. And hindsight's 2020. So if I ever play through this again, that's something I would change. I would also change the rivals fight, or rivals of Pokemon. Now here's a great example of a Pokemon I love to transform into. Rattata. Rattata has quick attack. Most things it fights are 2 shots. Some are 3, but most of them, you have enough power points to get through a battle. You have tackle and quick attack. I would rather have that than some other Pokemon's like movesets. It's really bad. So yeah, you're watching Route 3, and you're watching it, and it says, man, I want you to feel a little bit of the pain that I felt. You're only feeling a fraction of it, because you got to skip over the hour and 20 minutes it took to grind with the Ditto to get to level 21 to face Brock. So now we're facing this trainer. I'm not gonna show all the trainers on here. Let's just be honest here. But I'm not going to show all the trainers, and I'm going to show you again, transform, and you transform into a Weedle. Luckily, we're really high level with really high health, so we knocked the Weedle out pretty well. And now it's just playing the waiting game. So here's the monotony of it. We have to deplete all the string shots now. It's a continuous process. Okay? So let's go over the first strategy I wanted to implement that failed. Wanted to implement, let's get HP ups, let's up our speed, up our attack, and up our health, because those are the 3 things that are going to be affected whenever we have to use struggle strategies. And struggle strategies are pretty predominant at a certain point in the game over transform training and transform fighting, because once you get to a certain health, you have enough hit points to get through like small teams, like 2 or 3 Pokemon. And we did not. We get to that point. We get to the point where that's a better strategy. There's a mechanic in the game where you can actually get a way to heal very fast without having to replenish your power points. So just be mindful that there is a strategy coming up. And we are almost through Mount Moon. I didn't want to show all the battles of Mount Moon, but we do actually win this battle here. And we're right near the end, so I don't want to go back. So you're going to see me probably use a potion here too. So Rattata, like I said, great Pokemon to start with. We're going to transform. Quick attack. It's a 2-shot. Very good. And then he's going to throw out, I believe it's a Zubat. We're going to go with quick attack again. And it's going to be a 2-shot. Very good. So there's some Pokemon, like I said, that are great to transform into and fight with because of their mechanic. They have a decent amount of moves. So with Rattata will eventually add Hyper Beams. Now you have Hyper Beam, quick attack, and tackle. Fantastic to get through an opposition. Now we're facing Super Duper Nerd. We're going to transform into Grimer. So Grimer, we have to. So he disables our pound. So now we have to disable his move. I thought maybe I disabled his. I'm sorry. I disabled his move. Now he disabled ours. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to just use disable. We have to deplete power points anyway. So it's not the biggest deal in the world. So basically, the first one that gets over their disable will probably win this battle. Nah, we're way higher level. We'll win this battle. So we knock out the Grimer. Then we have Voltorb. Voltorb will not be too bad because it doesn't have Sonic Boom. It'll just have Tackle and Screech. So we get that knockout. And then the last one's Coughing. So lose our last power point. And now we're going to use Struggle Strats to finish off the battle. We should have plenty of health to finish this Pokemon off. This Pokemon's not great. And we get the knockout. We beat the Super Duper Nerd. And we get the Dome Fossil. All hail the Dome Fossil. And we're moving on to Celadon City. I'm sorry. Cerulean City. There we go. Misty's Gym City. So now we're facing our rival. Level 25. Transform into Pidgeotto. And this is kind of textbook how the playthroughs can be if things are done correctly. So I go for Quick Attack right away, or Sand Attack right away. And get through get through the Pidgeotto. Abra ain't gonna do nothing to us. So we're gonna use Gust. Gust is a one-shot. And then we're gonna use Quick Attack on the Rattata. We have enough hit points left to get to the Charmander. But we only have 4 Gusts, but we get a really nice critical hit right there. So that's good. So speed contributes to critical hit. So doesn't surprise me that Pidgeotto got the critical hit. Pidgeotto has pretty good speed. So this is where we're at right now. I just wanted to show the stats of that Pokemon real quick. Not the greatest stats, but now we're facing this trainer here. So there's an example of a bad Pokemon to start with. Luckily, it has no moves. So Oddish has Absorb, and that's it. And we get the knockout of Oddish. Now we gotta use Struggle the rest of it. So this trainer has 3 Pokemon. So luckily we have a good amount of health. We have enough health to get through the battle. And then we're moving on to Bill's house. And I would show you every single battle, but then I would just post the entire playthrough. I should just, next time, if you want to, next time, I'm going to do this playthrough again. It's going to happen because I want to optimize it and see how fast I can actually get it done. This playthrough is about survival, if I'm being bluntly honest. This is about surviving, getting through it. Can we get through it? And that's the situation with this playthrough. So we knock out that Oddish. We beat this last. And now we're getting to Bill. I don't know why I left this in, but Bill gives us the ability to get to the SSN. And I always thought it'd be funny. Bill's in here, he's a Pokemon. What if someone just came in and threw a Pokemon and caught him? Would he be stuck as a Pokemon forever? And because whenever you get stuck into a ball, there's like a lot of theories on what happens inside the ball. But I think it'd just be so fun if I could just walk in and throw a Pokeball at him. And now I caught Bill, who is a very sentient, smart Pokemon we could have. And it could talk. And I think he was transformed into like a Nidoran male or something like that, or maybe even a Cubone, I don't know. But regardless of that, we come back here and we're going to take a run at Misty. So in here in just 1 second. So yeah, we're going to take a run at Misty. Now Misty has Staryu and Starmie. We're going to have to use Transform. I don't think we have the hit points to get through both of them. So that was why I went with this strategy. So Staryu comes out. We're going to transform into Staryu. Now, the thing about Staryu is initially, Staryu will only go for a Water Gun because we'll go for Water Gun because we're normal. Then when we transform, she'll only use Tackle. That's why it doesn't do a lot of damage. Her AI says, like, I'm a Water type, don't use Water moves against this person. So you're going to see, Starmie is only going to use Tackle. Okay? We're trying to deplete Tackle power points, or Water Gun power points. Water Gun to us is a little bit more powerful, but it doesn't do much, and we get knocked out. And I did have like a couple attempts in there, but I'm just like, you know what, we need to come back at a higher level before we're going to attempt this. So this trainer ends up being a boss trainer because this is an example of tough Pokemon. Quick Attack. It's going to do a couple turns. You might be seeing the actual win here, but I'm pretty sure I showcase me getting my ass kicked a bunch. Is this literally just going to be the win? Is that what we're doing? Okay, we might be just showing the win. So good for you. You don't have to see all the monotony. Nope, this is actually a loss. Never mind. And we get knocked out. So I don't remember. Do I show you every time? Yeah, I'm going to show you a bunch of options here, a bunch of playthroughs with this trainer. This is Sandy, because she has 3 Pidgeys that Sand Attack you. So Sandy ends up becoming her own boss battle because all of her Pidgeys have Quick Attack and Sand Attack. When we transform, we only have 5 quick attacks. We only have 5 sand attacks. We can't do that. We can't do sand attack on every Pokemon like she can do on us. And Gus isn't super bad, but it could be worse. So very monotonous. So at the point I got to this health, I'm like, you know what? I don't have enough to get through this. So let's try this again. And I keep trying it over and over and over and over. And she just kicks the crap out of me. It's monotonous, to say the least. But it's okay. It is what it is. Knock out the first Pidgey. Woo! Now we're going to go for quick attack. And knock it out in 2 hits. But we only have 6 health left. We only have 2 quick attacks left. So unless we get a critical hit, yeah, we lose again. So yeah, that's the thing with this. So we're going to face the other trainer here real quick. We're going to transform into Eradicate. So much better, much more powerful. Oh, I'm sorry. We transform into a Spearow. Actually, we don't transform at all. We use Struggle. So we're going to use Struggle strats right here. And this will let us get through this trainer pretty handily. We have a decent amount of health left. So now I think we're going to heal. And we're going to try Struggle strats. See if that's enough to get through this Pokemon trainer. But like I said, every trainer can provide its own unique set of challenges. Where any other Pokemon, you eventually get to a point where not every trainer is like that. Not every trainer is going to be a pain in the butt like Sandy, the Sandy attacking Pidgey trainer. Okay? So we're going to use Struggle. Struggle's a one-shot. We have plenty of health left, so this should have been my first strategy from the get-go. But it's less than 30 damage we're taking on recoil. Yes, very good. We beat Sandy, this Sand attacking Pidgey trainer. We move on to the SSN. The SSN has our rival fight on. So we're going to go and face our rival at 2 hours and 26 minutes. So it's been an hour plus since we beat Brock. And we're here now and we haven't even beaten another gym. So we're going to transform into the Pidgeotto. We're going to Sand attack the Pidgeotto. And we're going to deplete all the power points. Pidgeotto, right now, Pidgeotto is his best Pokemon. I don't care what anyone says. Kadabra's not his best Pokemon. His team's solid, honestly. I think this is one of his better teams because he's starting to get evolved Pokemon. They're starting to get more powerful. There's a bunch of playthroughs I've watched by other YouTubers where this is like where he starts getting better because he's getting evolved Pokemon have better and more evolved moves. So, but we have 16 health, and I don't think it's gonna be enough to knock out a rival's Charmeleon. So we have to fight this battle again. Taking a drink of my drink. Go ahead and watch the battle. Now, if some of you see my last few videos, I've had a graphic that I've used for every landmark fight in the game. You will see by the end of this why I didn't do that in this one. Okay? So there is a reason for it, I promise. But you'll see why at the end of the video why I didn't decide to do that with this video. Okay? And so we knock out the first Pokemon, and the problem is Eradicate is gonna either get Quick Attack or Hyper Beam, and those do a lot of damage. Okay? So now we're gonna try to go through Abra. Abra is a decent Pokemon, but it has really low hit points, and we get knocked out by Abra. So we're gonna try this battle again. So if you've ever played through Pokemon and you ever want to do this, just be prepared for letdown. Ditto or Diddy is a complete and utter letdown when it comes to his moves, it comes to his stats, it comes to the strategy you have to use to win. Complete and utter letdown. Okay. Time consuming is also another word I would use. So we're at 2 hours and 30 minutes, and we might actually get through our rival here. We'll see. Gust is a 2-shot. He stupidly goes for teleport. His moves are randomized, so that's why he does that. So now we're going to go for Sand Attack on this Pokemon, hoping that he doesn't hit us. And Gust is probably going to be like a 4-shot, so hopefully I have enough health left for Struggle. And I knock myself out. Awesome. And I let that go because it was very monotonous. Actually, I don't let it go. I actually go out and train some more, and I come back and fight the battle one more time. So before you sit there like, hey, you did, that's not the rules. I'm like, well, the rules in this game are just survive, okay? But I did not take that battle and accept it. I know I do have extra Pokemon on my team because we use HM mules. We have, like right now, the only thing we have right now is actually a Spearow. And and we're going to trade that for a Farfetch, because Farfetch can learn Cut. So Fly and Cut, really the first, well, not the first two, but the first two we use TMs are readily available with one Pokemon. So here's an example of a very bad Pokemon to mimic or transform into. So we got Growth, which Growth actually boosts your stats, so that ain't the worst. But Wrap doesn't do much. You have to get through all the wraps. You have to get through all the poison or the sleep powders. So it's very monotonous with some Pokemon. Imagine if someone came out and had, actually it wouldn't be too bad with Magikarp because only 5 power points with Splash. But imagine if you had to transform into Magikarp and you only had Struggle. Luckily, like I said, it would only be 5, or not Struggle, I'm sorry, Splash. Luckily, it would only be 5. So now we're back to fighting our rival again. With a couple more levels and a little bit more hit points, we do a little bit better at knocking out the opposition. We really want to, we have 49 health, which is good. We want to get into the Charmander fight with a lot of damage. We have more than half our damage still, just about. We have just enough attacks to knock him out. Very good, much more powerful. And then we're moving on and taking on Misty again. So we're going to try Misty again. And the last time we tried using the Transform strategy. Transform, hopefully can knock out the Pokemon. But instead this time, are we going to do the same thing? We're going to do the same thing, okay. I thought maybe we might try the Struggle strategy. But we're going to use Tackle on Staryu. It actually we get a critical hit, so we knock her out with a lot of hit points going into Starmie. So we have a little bit more hit points than Starmie, but we need to use Water Gun to start out with. Starmie is only going to use Tackle, okay? Because good AI says it's Water type, don't use anything other than Water Gun. So we have plenty of health left, and Struggle is our ending strategy that gets... we lose again. So we're going to go again. Darn. So that happens, and we're going to try this again. So I'm saving, and we're going to try it again. There's 2 battles right there. We knock out the opposition, but we knock ourselves out. So we can't do that. We cannot do that. It's not allowed. So the better strategy here is to use Water Gun on Staryu. Staryu will do less damage to you, so you can last a little bit longer in battle. Okay, it's better to do that there. And in Tackle, we'll do a little bit more damage, but we'll deplete Tackle faster against Starmie. And then now we're going to go ahead and use Struggle. I don't know if we have enough health for Struggle. I don't think we do. So we're going to have to face her again, and we knock ourselves out again. This is fantastic. Aren't you guys excited about this? This is amazing. Imagine you're facing imagine you're playing this 2 hours and 40 minutes in, and you're not even past Misty yet. We're not even past Misty. Okay, Misty is a second trainer. And she only has 2 Pokemon. Should be able to get by Misty. However, we're going to try this again. The monotony is insane. But we're going to go ahead and try it again. So our goal is use Water Gun here. Get the knockout. Very good. We have more than half our health. And I think what's costing us here is she keeps using X Defend. But we want to just get to the point where we're out of power points with enough health that Struggle is not going to knock us out. Very good. We actually get the win against Misty at 2 hours and 41 minutes. So we go up against Lieutenant Surge. Okay? So I decided to go in here and fight these battles. Because it's not going to hurt, and we're using Struggle anyway. So we're going to Struggle. So this is how good Struggle is. This is how fast battles can go when you use Struggle. The problem is, like I said, you do take recoil. However, we got some potions, so we're going to heal up. And we're going to face the next guy. And I got to save for every battle, okay, as per tradition. And we're going to face this guy. He just has a Pikachu. So we're going to knock out Pikachu literally on the first try. On the probably first hit, honestly. Well, if we hit. There we go. Look at that knockout. Get the knockout pretty easy. And now we're going to heal up. We have 36 potions right now. 36. So that is the reason why we can't use HP up, because we use so many potions. Now later we get a great strategy that really helps when it comes to the Struggle strategy. So I'll go ahead and explain it a little bit, because we got maybe we don't have as much time as I thought. We were about to two-shot. We just two-shot the Voltorb, and we're about to two-shot the Magnemite. But basically later in the game, so a potion costs $300. Okay. Potion gives you 200 or 20 hit points. A super potion costs $700 and gives you 50 hit points. Okay, I'll go over more of that here in a second. So, Lieutenant Surge comes out with Vault Orb. Actually, we use Transform. I thought we would not use Transform with this. Okay, so we're going to use Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom will be a 3-shot. And it's not a 3-shot, it's a 4-shot actually, because we decided not to use Sonic Boom. I'm trying to save Sonic Boom for the last Pokemon. Sonic Boom again. Tackle, and that's not the strategy. We're not going to win this on the first battle. So what we should do, quote unquote, is use Screech and on the first 2 Pokemon, so Tackle can be a lot more effective. See, look how little that did. Thunder Shock, Sonic Boom. Gotta get 3 of these off. We might actually win. No, we won't. Shriek, and we get knocked out by Thunderbolt. So we're gonna try this battle again. We might actually have to try this battle with struggle strats, because I think we might have just enough health to get through them all, but I'm not sure. So we're gonna try this again. We're gonna transform into Vault Orb. If he's smart, use Screech. Use 2 of them, and then Tackle is much more effective. Oh, he uses 3. Okay. So it's a 2-shot on there. So you have 2 more. You save a power point with Tackle. Okay. Screech again. We're gonna use all of them up, and now we're gonna go for Screech. Does not make sense on the last Pokemon. On Raichu. The reason why it doesn't make sense is Raichu, it's gonna knock us out anyway. But Sonic Boom is a set damage move. It only does 20 damage, so it doesn't make sense. We're gonna use Sonic Boom to knock out Raichu. Then we need to use don't worry, you can't use. There's no point using Screech. You're gonna do 20 damage regardless of whatever his hit points are or his defense or whatever. So Screech doesn't make sense to use. So we're gonna struggle. Now we're just trying struggle strategies, see if it works. Which I don't know if it will, because I don't know if we have enough health to knock out all of them. We do not. And we're going to try it again, and we get knocked out one more time. Awesome. Also doesn't help that Voltorb actually got a Sonic Boom in on us. That did 20 health. Alright, we're going to try this again. This is awesome. Lieutenant Surge is really giving me a run for my money. He usually never does. He's usually one of the easiest gym leaders. But again, this just shows the monotony of this Pokemon. We missed Sonic Boom. We have way more health. We should win this battle now. Okay, we have 54 hit points, and I guarantee you Raichu does not have over 100 hit points. Struggle. We end with 9 hit points, thank goodness. And we're moving on. And there's not a lot of stuff in Rock Tunnel I want to show. But every trainer, like this is another example of a Absorb, Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Poison Powder. Great move set. We have to deplete all those just to beat this Pokemon trainer. So this is the monotony of it. So this is where we're about to get through the portion of the game, and we can start doing a strategy that's more conducive. That's more better. It's better. It's faster. And so I was explaining potions earlier. So like I said, a potion gives you 20 hit points. It costs $300. A super potion costs $700. Gives you 50. So in this game, you have a thing called vending machines. You can only get them at the top floor of Celadon City. They're everywhere, but they only work at the top floors of the Celadon Mart department store. And you can buy fresh waters for $200. And we get up to the point where we have almost 300 of those bad boys. And what that does is it gives you 50 HP for a lot cheaper. And you can buy so many of them. Pokemon is a game of resource management. I always tell people that it's not just just pick a Pokemon and play. It's about deciding who gets what. You have money as a finite resource in the game, so what do you spend your money on? Okay, TMs are a finite resource. If you have a whole team of Pokemon, who is going to get Body Slam? Who needs Body Slam? Who doesn't have a good move to level up? Okay, and also another one is experience. Who do we throw in the battle and who gets some experience? Because there's only so much experience you get in the game. I guess it's unlimited if you use wild Pokemon, but that's a part of the game of Pokemon. So figuring out what you're going to spend your money on. Now this Pokemon has no TMs. So as soon as we get TM, we can sell it. So that's good. And also like experience. How many trainers do we have to fight? Do we need to fight all the trainers? Do we need to fight majority of them? Do we need to fight a fraction of them? So all those things are factors in these games. So money, experience, how you use like resources that you get, like vitamins is another one. So vitamins is another one as well. Sorry, we're in Rocket. game corner right now. I forgot to go over that part. So we are in Rocket Game Corner, and there's actually a decent amount of Pokemon in here we can transform into and win a lot of battles, so that's not an issue here. And we're just gonna go now. This is what I meant earlier. So fresh water is $200. Look how much money we have. We have $2,000 or $20,000. You know how many waters you can buy for $200 out of $20,000? I think it's like 100. Okay, my math isn't great, but I'm pretty sure it's like over 100. So that's what we do here. Like I said, resource management. Money's a resource. We get an ample amount of it in this game because we don't have the ability to use TM, so we don't buy things. We're trying to use the strategy of doing HP ups, but I always only like to do like 2, and that's because I found them before this point in the game. And then trying to do more, it doesn't allow it because you've used so many potions. It doesn't allow you to add any vitamins. So that was a strategy. I went way out the door early, and if I would do it again, I'd just go back and heal and spend that time for future savings of time. Okay, now you're seeing all this. I had to actually click through all of this by myself, all of it, just to get to the point. And we, at one point, not right now, but at one point we do get over like 300 waters. So the strategy that is good for the game is when you're encountering like normal trainers, not trainers like a gym leader or your rival who have a lot of Pokemon. Like normal trainers usually only have about 2, maybe 3 Pokemon. You might have that outlier that has 4, but for the most part, you can use what's called struggle strats. Struggle, knock them out, heal after the battle, and then keep playing and using struggle. So that's a strategy that we can implement and we can employ, and we're going to implement and employ. Okay, so right now we're at 3 hours and 23 minutes. We have not even beaten our 3rd gym. We are going to face Giovanni though. So we're going to go into Giovanni. We're going to transform into Onix. Onix sucks. One of the worst Pokemon out there. My least favorite playthrough so far to this date was Onix. After this one, I guess. So this one actually wasn't my least favorite. It's just time consuming. That was the problem I had with this one. It's very time consuming. So we're using Screech to lower the opposition's defense. Rage is a move we have to use at the end of this because and we're gonna get locked into this move. So we got to make sure we knock out as many Pokemon as we can and get as much health as we can before we actually do this. So the Onix, its own moves don't work well against it. So we're using Bide. Bide makes it so they can't attack back. We actually have the same exact speed because we're using the same exact Pokemon. So our speed's the same. The only difference is we have way more health than Onix does. So yeah, this is part of the mechanic right now. And now we have to use Rage because we're out of all the other power points. Rage isn't the greatest move because it's normal type, but where Rage actually has some benefits is if he attacks me, it does build up over time. So see how much damage Rage did at the end? And so he's using a move on me, and I get the knockout with KangaskDan. So this is the first attempt. Very good. So now we're moving into Erica's gym. Yep, I healed. Or I leveled. Whatever. So now we're going to go into Erica's gym. I did not heal, and I have low health. So we may actually lose to a random trainer in this gym. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Rap, I think luckily might actually get the job done. Nope, we actually get knocked out. Perfect. So now not even Erica yet, and we have to get the first trainer in the game, or first trainer in this gym. We have to go fight it again. Okay, so now that look how much faster these battles go. Look how much better these battles go when we use struggle strategies. So here's something I learned here as well. So the regular trainers in the game, you can actually just use struggle. This is one example of a trainer that would be tough with struggle. So because we actually have we don't have enough. She has 4 Pokemon. We might not have enough hit points to knock them all out. I do cheat here and heal because I didn't want to get knocked out again. But it's the only trainer in here with 4 Pokemon, so I was really concerned about that. But as you progress through the game, Erica is the last gym leader with 3 Pokemon. She's the last landmark fight with 3 Pokemon. So landmark fights, if you've never heard me say that phrase, there are important fights that progress the game. You have to beat the gym leaders, you have to beat your rival, you have to beat Giovanni to progress the game. So those are the landmark fights. The Elite Four is landmark fights. So there'll be champion. You gotta beat the Elite Four and the champion. Okay. And I'm trying to heal right now. And we're going to finish off the rest, polish off the rest of this gym. But with normal trainers, like this person, random trainer, only have 2 or 3 Pokemon. If you have 2 or 3 Pokemon, struggle strategies and then heal at the end of the battle will work consistently. Okay, and with as much waters as we purchased, we have the war machine, whatever you want to call it, the ability to do this strategy repeatedly without too much recourse. So here's 2 Pokemon. Here's, well, we get put to sleep there. That could have been bad, but we get to knock out with 2 people. With 2 Pokemon, I'm sorry. And so we just heal up at the end of the battle, and then we do it again. And we repeat that process, but we can't repeat that process on Erica. So Erica has 3 Pokemon, and she's the last gym leader that has 3 Pokemon. The problem with that is you don't have enough hit points to use struggle on 3 or more Pokemon consistently. Maybe later in the game we'll have more hit points and we can, but as the game progresses, everyone gets more hit points. Which means if you're facing 4 Pokemon, you're facing 4 Pokemon with a decent amount of hit points, not just 1. So that's another drastic difference between us and the rest of the rest of the trainers in this game. Okay, so this is where struggle works really well. And then I don't remember if I showed you the battle with struggle against her, or if I showed you, if I just skip ahead to the one where I have to transform. Okay, so I think we're already going to show struggle, so go ahead and watch this battle. So with struggle, we just don't have enough hit points to get to the battle. Okay. Now that I'm kind of doing the calculations, we might have been able to, but it had to take like perfect RNG. Perfect like random number generation. So I don't think 30. I think Vileplume's health is higher than 64. Yep, we get knocked out. We probably could have just barely done it if we don't get any attacks from Victory Bell. Like I said, this game is very there's nothing consistent about it. There's nothing that says you can use the same exact strategy on every single Pokemon and it's gonna work all the time. There's nothing that says that. Okay. There is nothing that says that at all. So right now we have got back our transform power points so that we can face Erica. Erica's gonna come out with Victory Bell. Victory Bell is a great Pokemon. I really like it. But we're gonna copy Victory Bell, and he wraps us. And then once he's done wrapping, we're gonna use Sleep Powder, and now we will use Wrap. Ha! I'm gonna employ your strategy on me. Okay. So we get the knocking him out. We do knock him out eventually. Okay, but the problem is we have to keep using. We have to use the other power points as well if we can use other moves. So I'm trying to use Poison Powder. Tangela is strictly Grass type, so you can use Poison Powder on Tangela, and it's going to help us with a little bit of chip damage. And it's just very slow at this point. We have 1 Wrap left. We're going to use it, and hopefully get this Pokemon knocked out. But no, we got to keep using Poison Sting. I'm doing it against this one because he doesn't have Tangela doesn't have a great move. He has Constrict and Bind. So we're trying to split our power points against him while we can. And then we're gonna have enough. Should have enough to take out the Vileplume. So now we're using Razor Leaf. It's the last move available, but I'm trying to put it to sleep. Very good, because the Grass type move, it's not gonna do a lot of damage. Okay, it's a very powerful move. Critical hits a lot, but it's just not going to do that much damage. So hopefully we got enough just to knock it out. Okay, there's our last one, and what we got to deplete now? So we got to deplete Sleep Powder and Poison Powder before we can do anything else. So hopefully he doesn't do anything crazy to us, and do we get the ability to knock him out? We do knock him out. So, like I said, this is Erica. She has 3 Pokemon. We weren't able to knock her out with struggle strategies. So going forward, big fights. Like there's another one. This is actually not a gym I need to go to, but I went here for experience. I tried struggle, I think, on this first, and it wasn't enough to knock it out. I think we're also weak to fighting types. So that might be a problem. Okay, so we set up meditate. We do double kick, knock it out. Very good. It's a 1-hit knockout. Then we face Hitmonchan, double kick, knockout. Very good. So like I said, sometimes the transform works very well. Sometimes it does. Sometimes struggle is the better strategy. So you're going to see a montage here of me losing to our rival. And the reason why we lose to our rival here is because Remember in the beginning when I said we chose the wrong rival, or wrong rival Pokemon for our rival? Well, here's why. Whenever you're facing your rival, if you're using Struggle, if you're using Transform, you transform into a bird Pokemon. Okay? Now, we don't exactly have a lot of flying moves, so that's not really relevant right now, but it is relevant later in the game, because if you're in the Elite Four and you're facing a champion, you have to transform into a Pidgeotto or Pidgeot. It's better that the rival have Grass type, because Pidgeot is flying type, it has 2 flying moves, and you can attack your opposition pretty well with it. And Venusaur is weak to flying type, so that is the better strategy to have. You also have another strategy here with this trainer. This rival fight was one of the most difficult rival fights I've ever had, and here's why. What we chose was Charmander. So Charmander is the last Pokemon, or it's Charmeleon, but so your rival gets a team that builds around certain elements or certain certain typings. It's not going to load up with 5 Gyarados. It's not going to load up with a bunch of water types. It's going to have one of every typing. You get Psychic. It's going to have Kadabra. You're going to get Flying type, and that's Pidgeot. You're also going to get Fire type, Grass type, Water type, and then he's going to do one more type. I think he ends up getting Rhyhorn eventually, so he goes Rock type. Okay? So your rival is going to build a team around whatever Pokemon he gets. So if he has a Fire type Pokemon like Charmeleon, he's going to find a Grass alternative. So in our case, the Grass alternative he uses is Execute. Execute is the reason why this battle fails horribly, because Execute can put us to sleep. You can use Barrage. It never cooperates. Okay, and if the rival would have had Bulbasaur would be the last Pokemon we can attack. We have an advantage type wise. Okay, but if we chose Bulbasaur, the second Pokemon that comes out against us is Gyarados, and we can set up easier on the Gyarados because it can't put us to sleep. It can do a lot of things to us, do not get me wrong. But, so I leave there, I come back a little bit later. And yeah, we're going to try this battle again. But if I have if my rival has a different Pokemon, the outcome of the battle is significantly different. Because I can knock out the Pidgeotto fast, I can Sand Attack on the Gyarados, okay, and hopefully knock him out pretty quick, and have enough health left over for the last 3 Pokemon, which would be Kadabra, Arcanine, or Growlithe, I should say, and Venusaur. All of which are very weak to physical moves, except for Venusaur. So, yeah, it's a monotonous because this Execute is the bane of our existence. Now, we eventually win, and I gotta cheat to win. And you'll see why, it's inconsequential. But we had to cheat to win a little bit. So we're just trying to deplete our power points. So the goal here is you gotta deplete power points. And the problem with Pidgeotto and Pidgeot is they get a move called Whirlwind, which is a waste of time. So you gotta waste 5 turns just using Whirlwind. Taking a drink of my drink, go ahead and watch this battle. And Gyarados has some pretty damaging moves. And I'm healing. This is the one I win. Okay. So here, see how much I have to heal here. And like I said, I had to cheat a little bit. And the cheating thing really didn't matter. And like I said, you're about to see that in about 5 minutes. Or a couple minutes here. You're going to see that it's really inconsequential that I'm healing right here. So let's count up all the errors. One, strategy error of using potions and trying to use hit points. So I lose this battle. So we're going to try again. And you're going to see that I'm healing. At this point, I just want to get through the battle. I was struggling with this battle, and I know Van Man had gone and played this game with Ditto. So I went and watched his video, and he goes through in great depth as to, he explained why he chose Bulbasaur, and I saw the error of my ways as to why I should not have chose Charmander as my rival's Pokemon. Okay? And I'll give a shout out to him. Go watch his video. And I'll still give a shout out to some other trainers or Pokemon YouTubers as well. I've not done that yet. I've been just talking about how horrifying this playthrough was. I wouldn't say horrifying is the word. It was just monotonous and tough. It was time consuming. Okay, we're almost 4.5 hours into this. And a couple of other YouTubers, Excellent, Scott's Thoughts, JRose11. JRose11, Scott's Thoughts are playthroughs that I really enjoy, and they got me into this. And yeah, so other trainers like Van Man, Squidgy, Steven Plays Pokemon is another good one. KangaskDan, he actually posted a video a couple days ago. Go check it out. Like I said, Squidgy, Eggsceptional is a very good one for Gen 3 content. So that one's a good one as well. So now we finally beat our rival, and I'm not going to show a lot of it. I'm going to show a little bit of what happens whenever you... Pokemon Tower is pretty easy, because you can transform, and then because you're way higher health, you can knock them out pretty quick. Ghastlies and Haunters. So we transform, and since we have higher health, Nightshade is really just a one-shot with pretty much everyone except for like a Haunter. Okay, so that's really nice about here. This is one time where usually I don't want to fight these guys at all, and I want to avoid them. But Nightshade is pretty much not always a one-shot, but pretty much close to a one-shot all the time. And there's also a thing in here we can heal, so that's pretty nice. So now we're at the department store. We're buying some more waters. And because we're about to commit to a strategy, and look how much money we have, over $30,000. We're about to commit to a strategy of struggle, 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 heal, struggle, 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 heal, struggle, 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 heal. We have a lot of wild or random Pokemon or trainers in the world that we can fight. We just beat the Pokemon Tower, so that means we have all of Cycling Hill. We have all of, I don't know the route. Honestly don't. South of Lavender Town, east of Fuchsia City. We have all that stuff. We can actually go into Silphco and train against a lot of random Pokemon trainers. We actually do the trainers in KangaskDan. So before we even face any landmark fight again, that's what we can do. We can fight all those trainers. We have so many waters. Like, we're still clicking on waters. I just wanted to use this as a good time to explain that this is an opportunity we have to go get a lot of experience and get really high level, and it will make the next part of the game go very smooth. Okay? And I do all of this to tell you that all of that gets wrecked by what I think. I don't know if this is a true statement I'm about to say, but I'm pretty confident I discovered this glitch. So I came a wild encounter, I came across a Ditto. So I transformed into a Ditto, and when you transform into a Ditto, you get Ditto's moves, which is Transform. So that's the only move we can use. So if you use Transform again, you transform into the Ditto again, and he does the same thing to you. It goes back and forth. So I came across this encounter thinking, this is going to be hilarious. I'm going to have a Ditto versus Ditto battle. No one can win. They just keep transforming into each other, and it's going to happen. So eventually, I showed this just to have like a funny little thing on my playthrough. And this actually breaks the game. So I saved this. Okay? I saved this game. I've depleted all my power points. So I'm committing to this struggle strategy with fresh waters after every battle. Okay? And this is what happens. All my power points are deleted, and I cannot use struggle now. It won't let you use struggle. This is I could not find any literature on this, but it legit won't let me use struggle. So I'm like, why will it not let me use struggle? It'll let me heal. It'll let me use a potion, but it will not let me use struggle. It won't. And I just saved the game, so I can't go back. Okay? So this happened. Then I thought, okay, let's just go do a random encounter and like actually use like Transform. Yeah, I was a little frustrated here. So I'm actually going to use like Transform and try this and see if it actually lets me do it after you transform, because that can still be done. Then it still won't let me do it. Transform, it won't let me use struggle. It completely makes the game inoperable. Not only does it do that, so I'll go ahead and pause this here because I want to talk about it. If you ever play through this and you see a wild encounter with a Ditto, freaking run. Okay, that was 4 hours and 50 minutes. It's probably more than that because I'd paused it at some points. I'd use the restroom. I had to make myself lunch and dinner. And it completely wrecks your run. You cannot use struggle again. I didn't show this, but you actually cannot heal up and use transform, deplete power points, and use struggle again either. Completely eliminates the move struggle from being a move at all in the game. You can't do it. And at the point in the game I was at, it's not feasible, like it's not possible to win the rest of the game. When you go against Elite Four, you're gonna mimic some Pokemon that don't have great moves. You're gonna have to use struggle at some point, and we can't use struggle. We couldn't use struggle at all. So that was an run ender for me, and it's a glitch. And like I said, I might have discovered this glitch. I don't know. I have not found any literature on it. There's a glitch similar to this where if you like mirror move mimic or mimic mirror move or something, it kind of does the same thing or does something similar. But I have not found any literature at all about if you accidentally use transform on a wild Ditto, it breaks the game completely. Cannot use struggle, cannot use any of that stuff. So what does that mean for this? Well, I will say this much: that does end the run, and you have my word on this. I will play through this again, and I'm actually kind of happy it happened because I want to implore some of the strategies that I've came across. I want to try to employ them better, see if I can find a way to make it faster. And now that I know what I'm up against, I'll pick the right rival. And there's actually another strategy that I was going to do that I didn't get a chance to show anyone. So what I thought you could do is, so in my prediction video, I mentioned very, very clearly that I'm loose on using ethers. Ethers replenish power points. So I thought, well, what if we get into a big battle? I can just use an ether and replenish the power points, so I don't have to use like whirlwind or something. But that's not the case. When you do that and you go to use an ether, it does not pop up with the moves you transformed into and copied. It only comes up with your ability to increase the power points for struggle, or I'm sorry, transform. So yeah, that strategy wouldn't have worked either. The only one I could think of that would actually have worked, and maybe I'll probably will try this in the next one, is if you go into a big battle with struggle. Like for example, this is how I was going to beat Giovanni. If you go in against Giovanni and you struggle first to beat Rhyhorn, and then we use an ether to replenish our power points on Dugtrio, and then we can transform in Dugtrio and use Dig to sweep the rest of the team. That's the only way I've found that it can be done. Without having to spend like hours doing it. I thought that strategy would be the best one to use. So yeah, I was very, you have no idea, to spend 5 hours. I told my coworkers about this and they're like, I would just stop playing that game altogether. I'm like, I like Pokemon too much for that. But that is what happened. You saw it on film, and I'm really mad at myself for, I'm not mad at myself because I didn't know about it. I didn't know, I'd ever heard ever before, like, don't transform into a Ditto, it'll break your game. Never heard that before in my life. I am 36 years old. I've been playing this game since I was like 8. Okay? And I've never heard of that. So a lot of things have come across. So I don't know. I might have discovered this glitch. To me, it's a run-ending glitch, especially for Ditto. Ditto uses struggle as a big part of its strategy. Okay? So I will do this again after I am finished with all the rest of the Pokédex and all my replays for Gen 1. I will revisit this, and I will say it will be as the most optimized run that I can play through as. That's what I'm going to do with this. So do not fear. You will get the opportunity to see this playthrough, and you'll get to see it again, and it'll be done, I won't say correctly, but with a lot less errors. Now that I know the error of my ways, I can fix that. But if you made it this far, I really appreciate you watching. Let me know down below if you ever heard of this glitch, and if you have, if you find some resource that explains it, please show me, because I don't know. But it's 30-some. This game's been out almost like what? Not even 30, not quite 30 years, but it's been out for a long time, and I've never heard of this. And I play a lot of Pokemon, so let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I appreciate everyone for watching this. Make sure you comment, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Have a good one, and see ya.